Hello, Flandy friends. Today I'm trying out a new setup and also going to do something new, which is talking about gaming. Rather than a review story, I'm just going to talk a bit about a worrying trend I've noticed within the gaming industry. Having grown up playing video games all my life, it goes without saying they are a big part of who I am. No matter where I moved or where I've gone, thanks to games, I've always been able to feel like my friends are never that far away. So many of my favorite memories involve gaming moments. From playing GoldenEye while gathered around the television trying to handle the N64 controllers, to going to the midnight launch of Halo 3 and setting up Xbox Live for the first time. From stepping out of my first vault in Fallout, to taking my first leap of faith in Assassin's Creed. And honestly, the entirety of playing Bioshock, which, if you somehow haven't given it a try yet, would you kindly? Gaming is something I've been really excited to see grow and see where it goes and how it will push the boundaries of what is possible next. However, I am a bit worried about the current state of gaming as a whole. I was watching a video today, and it's sort of the basis of this think piece or mini rant, however I guess you could call it or describe it. In it, they discuss that the average development of a AAA game is now usually takes 7 years or longer, which means by the time we get the games, we probably won't even be this console generation. The thing that really they said that really resonated with me is because it takes so long for games to come out now, by the time they do, the games we get feel stale and old. Because the ideas and premises behind them, which might have been fresh and exciting in the beginning, aren't by the time they come out. Currently, we're getting an abundance of looter games right now. We've got the latest Arkham Knights, Marvel Avengers, and now Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which are the types of games where you keep redoing them over and over again just to get better loot. Which, honestly, is a mechanic that sort of feels archaic in this day and age. Some games, to me, like the Borderlands games and even Diablo to a certain extent, can do these really well and keep them fresh and engaging. The problem is, it seems to me like all games nowadays are striving to be a live service game. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I will admit, I spend far too much time playing Fortnite, which is a live service game and has its own faults. But I do believe it is leaps and bounds above the competition. For one, it's had time to perfect its model. Its prices, which started out high, have now been decreased to a far better than their competitors out there. And it's hard to compete with just the steady stream of content and unique ideas that come from it. One example of this was one season we had an ability called Chrome. It allowed you to turn yourself into a chrome blob and phase through structures or heal yourself or repair vehicles. It was a very unique mechanic that hadn't been introduced in the game in such a state before, and yet it only lasted 3 months and we were on to the next thing. Say what you will about Fortnite, but they are constantly trying new things, and true, not all of them are great. I'm personally looking at you, Primal Season, but they are trying to do their best to not remain stagnant in this ever evolving and growing market of gaming. Compare that to two other games which have moved on to live service models, Overwatch and Halo. We'll start with Halo, as that to me has more disappointment and just a more personal connection to me. I was looking forward to Infinite. They promised unmatched customization with armor coats that you could change and give unique designs. And what we got instead was having to pay for the color blue and purple. Colors we used to get for free, and now we've got to pay $5 to $10 just to get these skins for armor cores that we might not even use. Because, oh yeah, the pieces we unlock don't work for every armor core. So now we've got them divided between different armor cores, different colors, and it feels like so much of it was made just with the thought process of having to nickel and dime their players for every little thing. And it just makes what should be a fun game wholly unpleasant to play, because the entire time I'm thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I playing so hard to unlock cosmetics that, for one, I'm not even going to see, but for two, that I would have gotten in the base game? They sacrificed their They sacrificed what Halo used to be. They sacrificed the game in favor of the live service, which makes so little sense to me. Charging $15 to $20 for armor skin that you never get to see is ridiculous. Say what you will about Fortnite, at least you see your money literally on the screen. And I do know that Halo has been slowly improving, but for me, it's too little too late. My friends have already left the game, disappointed with its initial showing, and Halo, like most games, is a game that is best when you play it with your friends. With my friends gone, even if the game does finally get better, I don't know if I'll ever return to it. Because the magic were the moments that I had with my friends in a game that I loved, and now the game that I loved is gone, and so are my friends, on to newer and better games. Another game that I feel has fallen short is Overwatch 2. I got the first one at release and honestly thoroughly enjoyed it. Until we got the content drought, which they said was in preparation for Overwatch 2, so they could launch it with all this brand new stuff and be this amazing new thing. And yeah, like most of you, I was excited about the changes they were talking about and the skins that they are starting to show off. I was looking forward to Overwatch 2. However, like with Halo, it seems that the majority of the content was instead focused on their battle pass and their store, and instead of gameplay mechanics and the PvE that they had promised, a lot of their development just went into how to monetize what they already had. Skins you could earn in game. Granted, I will admit, loot boxes is a very divisive thing, and personally, I'm not a fan of them. I would very much prefer to just be able to buy what I want instead of having a random chance for it. But at least in the previous Overwatch model, you could earn loot boxes in game rather than having to spend real world currency on them. Now, you've got skins that go for $20, and it's just a skin that you don't even get to see. Once again, I ask, why? Not every game needs to be a live service. Why do all these games need battle passes to remain relevant? Why does a game like Suicide Squad, that you can play single player with your friends, need a battle pass at all? It feels like most of these games were created when live service was just starting to grow into a booming business. But now, 7 years later, the market is oversaturated with those types of games, and gamers are tired of them. Or at least this gamer is. There are only so many battle passes I can focus on before playing games becomes more of a chore than a relaxing pleasure. Some games have managed to thrive in this live service model. Fortnite, of course, but there's also Apex and Destiny. Apex has grown and has added a team deathmatch with their roster of unique characters, which is something more than their initial battle royale that they originally launched with. Bungie has learned from the original Destiny, and with Destiny 2, it might just prove to last the 10 years they originally wanted for Destiny to run. The thing with these games is that they are evolving. Fortnite is changing the map, story, and gameplay in just about every season. Apex realizes that battle royales are now oversaturated and are branching out to give their players more options with their existing characters and IP. Destiny is adding new content with new stories, weapons, and abilities at a fairly consistent pace. And once again, none of these are perfect, but they're thriving in an industry which is otherwise starting to crater. Live service games are dropping like flies, and it's just because the market can't bear them all. No person can play a battle pass for every game they enjoy. To survive in this industry, you have to evolve. And how can that happen when the games we are getting now were conceived 7 years ago? And they're working off ideas that are no longer unique in this current market. The answer to that is not every game needs to keep players playing for hundreds of hours and keeping them on the hook with a constant need to drain money out of them. Single player games like Spider-Man and God of War are masterpieces in this day and age because they focus on what is important, the story and the gameplay, and they trust in that to make their money. RPGs like Fallout and Elder Scrolls give us hundreds of hours of content without the need to monetize every moment of it. But the studios that make them are now focused on games like Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, which I'll admit I've played. I've got quite a few hours in Fallout 76 myself, But that doesn't mean I don't want that core Fallout mechanic or that core Skyrim gameplay. I want those games, but who knows when we're going to get the next one of them. Indie games right now are blowing up because that is where so much unique identity, gameplay, and passion is right now. The smaller studios who don't have to answer to their overlords are able to actually focus on what they want and what they feel gamers want. And that is why you're seeing such a resurgence of indie games into the mainstream where people are really promoting them. And I love to see it. One game that I recently played, thanks to Game Pass, that I absolutely love was a game called Maneater. It was a 20-hour absurd game about an evolving shark. There was no battle pass, no item shop, no real world currency. Just me, a shark, and an unsuspecting human that was about to be devoured. Another game was Vampire Survivors, a game that's really as basic as it comes in a lot of ways, but with a fun gameplay mechanic that's addictive and without a microtransaction in sight. My hope is that once more we can see a golden age of gaming, a revolutions of stories and ideas, and make people talk about games again with passion, instead of dread, dismay, and distrust. So many times we get hyped about a game just for it not to deliver anything or be a broken mess, and I miss the days when games were released and worked on the first day. I miss the day when you bought a game and that game was complete, without developers promising to release the rest of the content later on when it should have come with the game in the first place. I just miss gaming when it wasn't about the money. I mean, let's be real, it's always been about the money. But when gaming was more of a passion project rather than an industry that is supposed to crank out billions each year. Maybe we'll get it again. Hopefully, with all these live service games dying down, people will try something new. We'll see that new trend, and hopefully we won't get it oversaturated. Of course we will, but here's hoping. That's for all Flandy friends. If you like this gaming piece, please like and subscribe. It would really help my small channel to grow. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!